Hey everyone, it is I, Nix. Are you ready to ramble? So like a total nerd, I came across the first quarter deviations list from Treasury. And lo and behold, you wouldn't believe what I found in there, which obviously led me down a big rabbit hole, blah-de-blah. But I just kind of uncovered a bit of a story I thought worthwhile sharing, because we're talking billions. And considering how much the ANC hates the white imperialist Western man, they sure do send a lot of money that way. Anyway, let's take a quick look. As always, before we take a look, don't forget, subscribe if you haven't yet. It gives my channel a boost. And like and share if this is your vibe. Other than that, let's dive right in. So here's a lovely discovery uncovered in the deviations list. Line item 1289. I've done filtering and extraction on all the rest, but don't worry about that. They paid Publix Live for on-the-ground services in Switzerland. 3.7 billion to procure services from a Switzerland-based Publix Live for the execution of the on-the-ground services for the 2026 World Economics Forum Annual Meetings Project. For the World Economic Forum, which you all know is the largest unelected government in the world, making decisions for us without our knowledge or input. Absolutely no democracy. Let me not go down that rabbit hole. The rabbit hole I want to go down is that this is Publix Live. We are a global brand experience and events communication agency. Very nice. Look who that is. That's George. We help the world's most successful brands, institutions, and governments to build global influence platforms. Global influence platforms. How interesting. We create hybrid engagement platforms which captivate globally motivated, multi-stakeholder communities. Word. That literally says nothing by saying everything all at the same time. What a bunch of corporate bull. We create, oh look who that is, Mr. French dude. We create meaningful relationships which transform business across digital and physical environments. That's what you said in the last page. We are building more meaningful and collaborative relationships which advance ideas, knowledge, networks, and partnerships for positive global change. What on earth are we paying you 3.7 billion rand for? Brand values are our foundation, shaping our culture, providing a platform for achievement, guiding our business practices. For 3.7 billion, I'm sorry, I'm not happy. We are firmly unified in our purpose. Oh, now you're starting to sound like the ANC. We lead our projects with great humility. Though definitely sounding like the ANC, and remain tolerant and resilient on behalf of our clients in times of global adversity. Listen, dude, we have global adversity because of people like you, because you're busy doing global influence platforms, what. But I am so bored. Anyway, the point being, this strange little company we gave, not strange little company, point is, this company received 3.7 billion South African rands. So the rabbit hole I had to go down then is the Brand South Africa website, which has a media release which says South Africa's response measures to the US tariffs. Listen to this. It is unfortunate that this government's efforts in resetting the relationship with the US has been undermined by some actors within South African society. Actors, you say? And then it just goes on to spew a whole bunch of what this country, percentage tariffs, etc. South Africa isn't just a trading partner. We're a major investor in the US. I think I did the math. I'll try to find it. I'll put it up on the screen. It's 0.06% compared to what US invests in us. Please don't puff up your little chest like a peacock, without your feathers, by the way, saying you're a major investor in the US. Our company's sustaining American jobs. Similarly, 600 US companies in South Africa contribute to our industrial growth and create employment. Correct. And that's not something to boast about. That's something to heed caution to. 600 US companies can be like, the South Africa thing, it's not working. It carries on and says, the uncertainty of the new tariff line is already incorporated into economic projections. I don't think so. Because Enoch still has economic projections at what, 3%? How do you have economic projections for the annual year at 3% if you've already incorporated the new tariff line into your projections? That is an oxymoron in itself. For example, various economists estimated that it may shave off 0.2% of South Africa's economic growth. Listen, we only have 0.6, so 0.2 seems relatively important. Like, am I doing the math correctly? Because now I feel like I should be doing Enoch's job, right? When you're working in 0 point, like our economy's growth is, 0.2 is important. The reduction in growth from the 30% tariffs depend on a number of factors, including our ability to find alternative markets, which you only started doing recently. So what's your plan for the gap between growing those markets, because all of your staff are so competent they're going to be able to even achieve that? I mean, and by the time that actually fills the gap on US tariffs, like you guys, you just don't think. Listen, this made me laugh. Implement an economic response package, which includes, before I read this, please understand that Parks Tau didn't rock up for the meeting he set up at the last moment with the steel manufacturing company. I can't pronounce their name. I think they've tried to engage with the government 4 times. They finally drew this line in the sand and said enough's enough. The government has done nothing for them. Nothing. So I look forward to understanding how well this is going to work. The establishment of an export support desk. Okay. Measures to assist companies to absorb the tariffs and facilitate long-term resilience and growth strategies. All you have to do is take a look at my Joburg video, my G20 Joburg video, and know that measures to assist companies to absorb the tariffs and facilitate long-term resilience. What statistic, what quantifiable metric in South Africa can you show me that supports the fact that the ANC can achieve this? When Parks Tau doesn't even rock up for the meetings, he sets up awarding licenses to Paul's sister-in-law and saying everything's okay. Parks Tau hasn't been able to select a board for the National Gambling Board for 11 years. Please, guys, let's not be under the illusion that they're going to be able to assist companies, absorb tariffs, and facilitate resilience. Growth strategies. Are you serious? What are your strategies for our economy? Localization fund support. Where's this coming from? Build resilience. We are working on an export and competitiveness support program. How much is that going to cost me? We are also working with the Department of Labor to measure and mitigate potential job losses. Using existing instruments such as UIF that can be adjusted to respond to the current challenges. Yo, guys, like just knowing what our unemployment is like, and now you're working with the Department of Labor. It is unfathomable that the government operates like this. The funny thing about South Africa is that it's all about asking for money. So not only did it secure 24 billion rand additional debt for a GDP which has 75% debt to GDP ratio, they also have on the Brand South Africa page, they have a Invest in SA tab. They talk about all this fantastic stuff. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What's this site? South Africa Investment Conference. Oh, good. Now we have an investment conference just for South Africa. Please give us more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. And the sponsors, Transnet. How can Transnet sponsor you? They're brokers. Boop. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. The point is, talk about begging for more money. This is now the Nation Brand Forum. After we sent 3.7 billion rand to Switzerland for some or other on-the-ground work project for some or other 26-something forum, they, on this site, have a pledge card. That's fine. By pledging, you will contribute to shaping strategic socio-economic solutions that drive economic recovery and create sustainable jobs. Wat op aarde are you on about, Nation Brand Forum Brand South Africa? What a bunch of bokoti chakalalarkanakana. I mean, but here's the worst part, by the way. My details. Excellent. Ways to pledge. Monetary contribution. 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, or 1 million. I mean, what about me, Kippy? I also like 150. What about like a button? Other. But nope, if you cannot give us 50,000 rand or more, jy moet nou chaila. Hamba gashle. Hamba wena. What on earth? Talk about a bloody begging bowl. You go to Germany, you beg, you get over 10 billion. You go to the World Bank, you get, 27 billion. You go to the African Development Fund Bank, 8.4 billion. Yeah, 45 billion. You've begged for 45 billion. You also have an annual investment conference, and you want people to pledge nothing less than 50,000 rand into a country with a 0.6% growth, a 75% debt to GDP ratio. I came across this. This is called Nation Brand Forum. Mukma, what is this? 19th of March. So doesn't this sound like the national dialogue we're about to have? It is a flagship annual forum to mobilize, engage, and collaborate with diverse stakeholders to shape a coherent agenda for a compelling nation brand image, reputation, and competitiveness. That sounds very national dialogue to me. So the 2025 forum was themed Forging Strategic Partnerships to Advance Global Competitiveness. The irony, guys. They obviously didn't know about the tariffs. They obviously didn't know about the tariffs. Forging strategic partnerships to advance global competitiveness. Epic fail. Focuses on inclusive partnerships that drive economic recovery or collapse, attract investment or disinvestment, and position the nation as a key global player in racism. So, that is the vision of Brand South Africa. And very interesting that that sort of perception is had, and that even on those websites they're talking about actors spreading misinformation. The disillusion of how global economics works is the absolute failing of this government, the ANC. So keep that in mind. Next time, they're all talking about the white imperialist, the Western world. We are a sovereign state. Just remember that they have paid a random company in Switzerland 3.7 billion rand, pointing the fingers and blaming everybody else but yourself. Wow. Talk about living in your own trauma. You live in this world, this delusioned world of I have been traumatized and me, poor me. Yet you cannot see the shameless, despicable begging that's taking place on the international stage. Cool, that's your reputation. I hate the fact that those sorts of statements, though, sits on Brand South Africa. For any international viewer right now, I can tell you right now, this is not the view of the majority of South Africa. The majority, and I'm talking 80% here. The ANC and that Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa do not represent South Africa citizens. They represent the ANC. They even refer to it as our people. Okay, guys, I could keep rambling for days, so I'm going to cut it off here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and share. For those of you who are not yet subscribed, please drop me a beep button, subscribe. It really gives my channel a boost. This is now my income. This is my job. Anyway, light-hearted side of life. Have a great day, guys. Over and out.